Good afternoon. Welcome to this edition of KTN Live at 1. It's Sunday, the 19th of May, 2013. Hope you're having a great afternoon. My name is Betty Callow. Now, two suspected terrorists were gunned down in Githurai 45 area following an overnight pursuit by security agents. Police launched their manhunt for the suspect identified as Felix Nyaganga Otuko and his wife after receiving a tip-off from the public. The suspects hurled a total of 4 grenades during the pursuit, injuring 5 police officers. 2 live grenades and 64 rounds of ammunition were recovered from the suspect's house. Police say the couple was using their 8-year-old baby girl as a shield, forcing the officers to be strategic in capturing the duo. The baby, who is said to have fainted due to the tear gas, was rescued and has been rushed to the hospital.
They were living at the ground floor, the ground floor of this house. And then when they discovered that they were being trailed by the officers, immediately they discovered the presence of the officers around here. Then they retreated to some safe place up on top of, maybe it was in the 3rd floor. And then they kept watch so that any officer who passes through this main door, they looped a grenade. So that was the problem. This is why it took too long for the officers to get them, because the only entrance was just from this side.
Najua mwanamke juu anachotanga maji, wakati maji hakuna, wakati inakuja ndo tunapatananga na yeye hapo chini akichota maji. Huyo mwanamume hatujaimuona.
Still on insecurity matters, following the escalating insecurity in Baringo County, owing to the increasing cases of cattle rustling, leaders from the region are now stepping up measures to address this crisis in order to ensure that residents live in harmony. Led by Baringo South Member of Parliament Grace Kipchoim, the leaders affirm that disarmament remains to be the urgent task in the county. Here are the details. The meeting that was convened by Baringo South MP Grace Kipchoim saw chiefs and village elders drawn from the affected areas come together to chart the way forward in addressing security matters facing the region. According to the leaders, residents from 4 locations have fled their homes, while 10 schools have remained closed due to the rising insecurity. The affected locations include Arabel, Chebinin, Kimoriot, and Muchongoy.
Mid of last month, Inspector General was in the region and promised us the issue of disarmament. To date, nothing has happened, and the community are wondering, when are they going to go back home? What is their security?
During the meeting, it was resolved that the chiefs ensure that at least 4 schools are reopened and security officers deployed to man them to assure parents of their children's safety. Reports indicate that cases of cattle rustling have left at least 60 people dead and more than 50 others injured since January 2012. 1,200 families are also reportedly displaced. Cattle rustling in the region has intensified in recent years, hampering development in the county. The Albinism Society of Kenya wants the government to speed up the construction of a cancer center in the country. The society says persons with albinism in the country are at risk of skin cancer, as many of them cannot access sunscreens to protect their skins. Now, speaking in Kilifi County during an albinism awareness retreat, participants said there is need to have a center that can cater for skin cancer treatment at an affordable cost. Nominated Member of Parliament Isaac Mwaura said such a center would reduce cancer-related deaths among the albinos.
Dada yetu kule Malindi anaitwa Umi. Kwa nini tupoteza yule mwanadada na bado ni mchanga? Kule Nairobi tumepoteza wengine karibu 7 sasa hivi ambao tunawajua. Lazima tuhakikishe kwamba kila mtu atafikia umri ambao anafaa kufikia, na kama kifo kitakuja kije kama vile ambavyo watu wale wengine hufa, lakini sio kwa sababu ya matatizo ya kutokana na saratani ya ngozi.
Now, Ugandan soldiers serving under the African Union peacekeeping mission in Somalia, AMISOM, have completed their tour of duty and have begun returning home. The group, mostly made up of reservists from the Ugandan People's Defense Force, succeeded in pushing the Al-Shabaab insurgents out of Mogadishu and increasing the area of government operation by 120 kilometers from Masila to Johar and Huriwa to Port Elman. After 13 months of service, the soldiers will join their families as they await their next call of duty. The peace and security established by the AMISOM soldiers created conditions for infrastructure and economic development in a country that is recovering from 22 years of conflict. The soldiers under Battle Group 9+ will be replaced by Group 11+ to help build on the peace and stability that their compatriots have achieved. Kenya Defense Force was deployed to fight the Islamist insurgents in 2011, helping capture the port of Kismayo. Now, 3 people escaped death narrowly when the vehicle they were traveling in plunged from a bridge along Mombasa Road. It is said the driver of the vehicle, which was heading to Nairobi, lost control of the vehicle before it rolled off the bridge and fell on the railway line. All the occupants came out unscathed as onlookers rushed to the scene to witness and help the 3. Witnesses say the accident scene has become a black spot with hardly a week passing before such an incident is reported. They attribute the situation to the theft of road rails and are now appealing to the authorities to restore the rails and mark the area as a black spot. Now, African culture is slowly fading away as successive generations embrace popular culture. But there is a group in Nandi County that has refused to let go of traditions. The African Kalenjin Gotab Ga group has come together to preserve traditional artifacts, medicines and culture with a hope to pass this on to the children and children's children. They say that most traditional African cultures promoted ethics and respect that seems to lack in today's society.
In the 21st century, irrespective of which country you are from or which social status you belong, we almost dress, speak and even think alike. Popular culture dictates how we live our lives. And with this, a lot of African cultures have simply faded away with time. But in this hut situated in Mosoriot, Nandi County, the Kalenjin Gotab Ga community still hold on to their roots. You won't find a microwave here or any semblance of modern technology, and that is how they like it. Every item in this hut has a significant purpose according to the Nandi culture.
Ya udongo ambao wasichana kwa wanaume walikuwa wakijipaka nao kupaka rangi uso zao kurembesha uso.
And what is tradition without traditional medicine? The African Kalenjin Gotab Ga group members still source for herbs and healing plants for whoever is interested. But it seems to go beyond the preservation of traditional artifacts. These men and women say that they want to pass on positive traditions and ethics to the next generations. Traditions and ethics that promote respect and social responsibility that seem to be lacking in the modern day society. They say that hopefully this will inspire other communities to preserve whatever is left of their culture, lest they remain forgotten in history books. Catherine Omwando, KTN.
Now, by the time he turned 9, Titus Sirop had never ran around the soccer pitch or played tag with his sisters and brothers. Titus was born with a congenital heart disease known as patent ductus atrius. His parents, desperate to give him the same quality of life as other children his age, opted to send him to the operating table in the hands of cardiologists Dr. Simon Deritu and Josiah Ruturi. In our Survivor series, we bring you his story.
He has what you call a patent ductal arteriosus. It's a normal blood vessel that works before the baby is born, but then after the baby is born, it naturally closes when the child starts to breathe. In an ideal situation, this should have been done much earlier. The anesthetist puts him to sleep. There's a tube in his mouth to help him breathing because he's not going to be breathing on his own. And then we'll turn him to the side. We'll clean him up and drape him with sterile drip. Open his chest on the left side and find the blood vessel.
The closed heart surgery just about to start could save 9-year-old Titus Tirup's life. Of the operation are Doctors Simon Deritu and Josiah Ruturi, two of the less than 15 cardiologists in the country.
So you're just collapsing the additions.
Get us stitches, get us 50.
The surgery is almost complete, and now doctors will take the process of closing Titus up, and then they'll wheel him out of the theatre into the intensive care unit where he'll begin his recovery. And hopefully after that he'll be sent home where he can live the life of a normal 9-year-old boy. But then something goes wrong.
PD has ruptured. Open the castle.
Is there a long one? Let's see both hands. Hold the two ends, please.
The vessel the doctors want to block ruptures, and Titus begins to bleed out. We are asked to leave the operating room as the pressure to save Titus mounts, but our microphone is still tagged onto Dr. Ndiritu.
You got it?
Yeah. These are a nightmare.
Not you.
Me, I'm not okay because I can give this patient adrenaline. But you know, I had such a good, clear view of what I was doing.
Is a tissue, not normal tissue, is it?
So I had even gone up on the upper side.
At first there was that slight fear. God gives, and God was not giving so that He can test us by taking Him away. So we had that hope.
Mungu yuko. Na kabla hatujatoka nyumbani tuliomba tukaweka kwa mkono ya Mungu, hata sikusikia chochote.
After 20 minutes of pressure and tension, there is hope that Titus will see his loved ones again.
Thank you, Jesus. These things.
The child with pulmonary ductal arteriosus, like we read on the internet there with you, is a patient who usually, most of the time, is rather well. In fact, the parents wonder why you need to operate on this child, because the child is well in their eyes. We as doctors anticipate there will be problems, but the child is well. So if I am receiving a patient like that, and then I have to go talk to the parents and tell them we lost that child, that's a very disturbing situation. Any situation that we have to tell a patient, relatives that they have lost a patient, is very difficult for us doctors.
Unaware that his life was hanging in the balance, Titus slowly wakes up as the anesthesia begins to wear off. His parents grateful that they had their son back. For the next few days, Titus will be kept under tight supervision by his doctors and nurses as he starts his physiotherapy. 1 week later, we can hardly tell the boy was in surgery only days before. Titus is the so-called runt of a family of 5 children, born only minutes after his twin brother. As they grew up, his parents say it was hard for him to keep up with his twin brother and would prefer to sit and watch him and other children his age play football and run around the compound. With his heart condition, even a brisk walk would leave him gasping for air.
Beleni alikuwa anachoka sana, hata ukimwamsha kama anaenda shule anakuambia tu ninaamuka, alafu nikienda kurudi bado. Sasa ninajaribu kumtoa kwa lazima, lakini saa hii najua nikimwamsha akienda shule ataamuka tu peke yake bila kulazimisha.
Now he can't wait to show off his football skills once he gets back to his family home in Kericho.
Kienda shule naweza kucheza kandanda na mchezo mwingine ninayopenda.
The cost of treating his frequent chest infections really weighed down on his family, especially his father, who retired 5 years ago.
You see, every time somebody falls sick, you spend money. So we had run short of money. I think it was around early in the year, so we needed money for buying seeds, fertilizer, taking children to school and other things.
Naona tutasaidika sana, kwa sababu ile pesa tutapata kidogo tutalipia our school fees na upkeep yao.
Kenya has 200,000 new cases of rheumatic heart disease and 10,000 cases of children born with congenital heart disease annually. Most will live with the disease until they eventually die, owing to the high cost of treatment. But Titus has come out a survivor. Captain Omwando, KTN.
Thank you very much, Amonto, for that story. And something you might need to know is Titus is a beneficiary of the Mata Heartran Foundation. He will live a full life because of the kindness of others who gave their time and money. And you too can save a life by taking part in the Mata Heartran and contributing as little as 10 shillings to the foundation's M-Pesa account on 526300. That's 526300. All transactions have been zero rated by the Safaricom Foundation. As you know, the Standard Group is a partner of the Mata Heartran, and we hope to see you on the 25th of May, that is next Saturday, to see you running and saving a life. So now we take a short commercial break. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Time for sports. Now, the path to the revival of professional boxing was witnessed in Nairobi last night after years of a lull. Kenyan pugilists welcomed their Ugandan counterparts and others from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Fatuma Zarika, who has been out in the cold for the better part of the year, partly due to lack of well-organized fights by local promoters, had her way last night as she cornered her namesake Fatma Namegurkwa, a 20-year-old student from Uganda. After the win, Zarika now plans to fight another bout in June as she tries to resuscitate her boxing career. However, due to the long neglect, she is asking well-wishers to promote the sport.